What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Sure, like and sub, and let's get into this. One of the biggest surprises for me has been Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It is a really good game. It's got a great plot. If this had been the movies, oh my God, it would be making all the money. And the biggest shock is that it was made by seemingly
for a modern gaming audience.
By and for, and I don't know how they did it, but they did it. There's a behind the scenes, and I'm very interested to see how what I thought was just going to be the most modern day of modern day. No, it is a completely faithful and classic version of Indiana that I loved. So yeah, let's go.
I'm Troy Baker, and I play Indy.
Great job.
It's humbling playing a character that so many people, myself included, look up to. As a kid, seeing Indiana Jones in the theater for the first time was a defining moment for me. And I never would have guessed that all these years later, I would be the one wearing the hat. But here I am. It's been a dream come true. A dream that I cannot wait for you to live for yourselves.
Yeah, these are the people I'm very interested to see.
Hej och välkommen till Uppsala, Sverige, här hos Machine Games. We are really excited to finally be able to share our work on Indiana Jones. Since the first film came out, Indiana Jones has always represented the ultimate adventure. Even today, it's one of the most iconic franchises in pop culture. In this game, you aren't just playing as Indy, you are Indiana Jones.
And he was correct. He was correct. You are Indiana Jones. You feel like it. Very respectful to the character.
You will see through his eyes and experience a journey that we hope lives up to the proud legacy of Indiana Jones. When Todd Howard first told us about his vision for the game, we knew we would be a very good fit to help bring it to life.
I've wanted to make an Indiana Jones game forever. I'd had this idea for what it would be like and the story, what Indy was going after, what period of his life it was in, what kind of arc he was going to have. And as the years went on, I thought, who would be like the best studio in the world to make this? And it was my friends at Machine Games. I can remember pitching Lucasfilm on the game and being, a little bit nervous because, look, it's, Indiana Jones. And their response was just overwhelmingly positive, and just that excitement has bled through the whole project. And they have just been so trusting and supportive of everything that we want to do with the game. It's been a long time. I've been a fan of this my whole life, and I couldn't be more excited to show you what the team here has been up to.
Indiana Jones is such an iconic character.
Now, why didn't they have her in the trailer instead of the other guy?
And he means so.
And the cinematics are great. It feels like watching a movie, an Indiana Jones movie.
Much to so many people.
Everyone here at the studio has their own Indy stories and memories. Most of us grew up with his adventures and have been fans of the movies and the character for years.
He's a brilliant archaeologist. He's a charismatic everyman. He's passionate and determined. And for us, he's synonymous with adventure.
Now we have the opportunity to tell a new Indiana Jones story for a modern gaming audience. Our game is all about putting you in Indy's shoes, letting you see and feel what he sees and feels. For us at Machine Games, we do that best through first person. It's the ideal perspective to bring you into the rich, exciting, and interactive world we've built.
It's so funny to have barely seen that before it came out, and like with the worst interpretation, but now having seen that, everything he just said and the best interpretation was true. It's just very refreshing that it wasn't captured, that the love of Indy shone through everything.
We believe that being up close and personal to the adventure is key, making each action feel like your own.
Whether it's cracking your whip, solving puzzles in ancient temples, or seeing your knuckles go bloody in a fistfight, all of these moments are much more intense in first person.
And I know we were worried about whether it was going to get old. The combat is good. The fights, the punching and grabbing things, and it all works very with the whip mechanic, which I maybe found out in a boss fight against Tony Todd that I shouldn't have used, but oops.
But we still want you to have those moments. Seeing his iconic silhouette with the hat and the whip. And so for things like cutscenes and environmental traversal, we pull the camera back for a third-person view.
And it happens a lot.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade.
When our game begins, Indiana is working at Marshall College. He wakes up in the middle of the night to the sounds of a break-in and rushes to confront the thief in the
Him and Marcus have been drinking together, so it very much feels like it could be in the movie.
college museum. The mysterious giant of a man makes off with what seems to be a historically insignificant artifact, sparking Indiana's curiosity.
Tony Todd.
Following the trail, Indiana
Super
heads
good.
to the Vatican, hoping to learn why this particular relic was stolen, and discovers that things aren't what they appear.
So this is where you break down the gameplay of different outfits, and each of these little areas is sort of sectioned off, and some of them you have to be dressed as a priest, some of them you have to be dressed as the brown shirts at the time. They have Mussolini. It's all historically accurate, with the exception of the inclusion of the religious hunt, basically, for the Nephilim.
He starts pulling at the strings of a mystery, and it all unravels until he has no choice but to see it through to the end, whatever the end may be.
And that's sort of how I was like, let me just do this one little thing. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Well, let me just find that thing for the guy, because I do sort of want to see. And there's like, oh, that's connected to this. Well, let me. And here I am. I'm almost halfway, a little over halfway through the game.
On next plane to Rome. Stop. Need help. Stop. Maybe in Vatican. Stop.
We always talk about how clever Indiana Jones is. That had to be one of our guiding principles when we were thinking about the type of game we were making. It wouldn't be Indy if he wasn't using his wits to get through the situation.
And I know some people are complaining that maybe the puzzles were too easy. It seemed to me that that the difficulty level was fine. It was about the same simplicity that you would see depicted in the movies. And something that didn't make me like, oh, I would have never fucking thought of that type of thing, where you have to go look it up online.
The most authentic Indiana Jones experience we can make is the one that makes you think first.
Getting the hang of this.
Sure, there will be some obstacles that will be more easily overcome with the revolver or a gun taken from a disarmed guard. But I think most of the time you'll have more fun and, to be honest, a more genuine indie experience by finding more clever ways to solve a problem.
We always want to be offering more solutions, whether it's trying a different path through the environment to get around enemies, observing enemy patrols and using them to your advantage.
Yeah, they definitely want you to play stealth through the game.
Or using the tools at your disposal, like the whip.
It's an amazing global adventure with action propelling you through your journey.
We have these really diverse environments for you to explore. Indy's journey will take him to the forgotten temples of Sukhothai, the pyramids of Egypt, the snow-peaked Himalayas, and beyond.
We look carefully at each location and the time period the game is set in, and we're trying to make it as authentic and accurate as possible.
We love creating rich, vibrant worlds, and in this game, we also had the goal of making it feel like a true cinematic Indiana Jones adventure.
It felt like, it feels like that, I should say.
One of the biggest ways to do that is with the music.
Music is on point.
John Williams is the original composer for the Indy films, and we're really lucky to have found Gordy Hub, a composer who's been able to capture Williams' essence with his score for The Great Circle.
We also take a very movie-like approach to things like cinematics. We're very physical with our production style.
Yeah.
We use a lot of stunt actors. Things like this help
it translates to all the cutscenes.
us bridge the gap between making a game and making a movie.
And of course, our characters do a lot to help bring the world to life as well. Next to Indy, Gina is our other main protagonist. Where Indy is pursuing answers just for the sake of curiosity, Gina has a personal stake in getting to the bottom of the
And Gina is not insufferable. She's quite likable.
core mystery.
Gina is an investigative reporter who has a lot riding on this adventure. She's been tracking a lead for some time, and now she's found an ally in this determined American professor. Their paths are intertwined, and they'll need each other in order to get to the
She's
bottom
living for
of this
her
mystery.
sister.
Okay, then. Let's see if we can keep up.
Fight. What do you mean if I can keep up?
And I know that we always took that the worst one too. It was done playfully.
We always loved our
Catwoman,
villains.
Batman type
I think
thing.
we might have found our favorite one yet in Emmerich Voss.
Yeah,
He's
Voss
this
is sick.
intensely psychological man. He's obsessed with the human mind and manipulating it.
A little bit of the Christoph Waltz from Inglourious Bastards.
He's highly intelligent and the perfect foil for Indy. They're both brilliant people,
also
compelled
like
by their
Belloc.
passions and obsessions, but driven down wildly different roads.
He creeps up on you and gets under your skin like he gets under in the skin. It's captivating.
Dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
One of our mottos for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is adventure first. But in every indie adventure, there are always those moments where he finds himself in the action.
That's been one of those balancing acts for us, and we've ended up with this sort of hybrid experience that mixes melee combat, stealth, and gunplay.
Yeah.
How you approach any given situation is up to you. You may choose to sneak around an enemy patrol, or maybe you'll just pick up a shovel and whack them on the back of their head.
Yeah, and it's like there's those set animations that are comical. They're like the movies, but they work. And so most of the time, it's like you stealth through, and then maybe you knock out a couple guards, and then if you have to, you get overwhelmed, you pop out again. But most of the time, it behooves you not to use guns. Which, to be fair, you don't really see him shooting much in the movies.
And when you can't use your wits, you got Indy's most iconic tool. Just like you see in the movies, one of our goals has been to make the whip as fun and multi-purpose as possible. We want it integrated into every aspect of the game.
You can use it as a traversal tool to make your way around the environment.
Yeah.
You can use it as a distraction. And yes, you can absolutely use it in combat. Everything you'd expect from Indy's whip. And hopefully a little bit more.
So the gameplay is only as simplistic as you make it. If you just punch one punch, but you can control both. There's fight clubs that you're not supposed to talk about.
Puzzles are a key feature in our game. The spirit of discovery is so important to Indiana Jones. Obviously, there are a handful of puzzles on the main path, but a lot of the puzzles are optional and are just there for the players who want to experience them. Epic traps, small secrets, and hidden puzzles that blend right in with their surroundings.
One thing I love about our game is the level of interactivity that we have. We have this world of mystery where anything could potentially hide a secret. The more you look, the more you'll discover.
And there's tons of collectibles. I love that it lets you go back to earlier areas in the game. I'm at the end part of Egypt, but I was able to go back to the college and the Vatican. So if you don't finish everything and you move on, it's all right. You can buy maps and shit eventually with the in-game currency.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I want to thank you all for joining us for our big reveal of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Yeah, no, it's a really good game. There was a while. Look, if you just wanted a huge action, like Uncharted, but with Indiana Jones, no, the game's not for you. But if you wanted to be Indiana and explore tombs and have a cinematic Indiana Jones adventure that has to do with the Nephilim, the half angel, half human descendants of angels and men, women. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. If this had been a movie, man, it would have made all the money. Either way, let me know what you think about all this. You maybe going to give it a try? It's certainly worth a subscription to Game Pass. Either way, make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.